I want to see the two of you debate this out on set in terms of whether we're going to make a buy and which one it's going to be. Considering, gentlemen, we already have exposure to Woolworths.
Yes, so we've got big Woolworths exposure. I think it's about 20,000 Rand, almost 10% of the portfolio. The two that I like the most are Mr. Price and Foschini. Mr. Price, I mean, you obviously paying up for that quality business, everything they've done right over the years, over 30 multiple. Foschini a bit cheaper. I mean, where would you be heading towards?
I think Foschini's probably got more upside, given the fact that it's coming from a very much lower base. I think they're doing everything right. Mr. Price is still one of my favourites in there, and by saying I like Foschini, it's purely on a price basis.
So let's look at this. 5 years, if you were making an investment decision for a 5-year horizon, would you choose Mr. Price over Foschini?
Yes.
If you have got Woolworths in the portfolio, as we've already stated, would you add to your clothing retailer exposure, or would you be satisfied with what you're getting in Woolworths?
Yeah, as I said right at the beginning, Bronwyn, I think at this point in time you've got to be very, very selective because the market is looking a bit dodgy again. But Woolies I'm happy with, very, very happy indeed. Would I add to it? Not necessarily at this point in time.
You see, now this is interesting, Byron. I don't want us to rush headlong into positions, considering we've got 60,000 Rand left for our shopping, and we've got to be relatively prudent. Is that enough clothing retail exposure, or do you want more?
I wouldn't mind a bit more because, obviously Woolworths, a big section comes from the grocery side. And I'm not saying we have to add a 20,000 Rand position. We can look at what we did with Capitec, maybe 8,000 Rand. I don't know. I'm pushing towards Foschini mainly on the back of a potential kicker from that UK acquisition. I think we might see, the UK economy is doing really well, and this isn't an instance where they're trying to turn the business around. They actually bought a thriving business that's doing really, really well. So that's going to filter nicely into earnings and give them a nice product mix. And I think they're going to start bringing quite a lot of those products into the South African market as well.
Chris, let's put that to you then, considering the Woolworths exposure, a smaller position in Foschini?
Yep, absolutely. It's had a big run, but it's still got a bit left in it, I think. Yeah, there's a great story there.
I just also want to push you a little further on the credit element in Foschini. Just remind me where we stand on that.
It's, as Byron said, it's moving more towards a kind of 50-50 type of relationship.
That doesn't concern you?
No, and in this type of environment, when we're looking at next year, maybe even later this year, a rising interest rate environment, absolutely, that's exactly the way you want to be going.
All right, so that's it. So you've made the decision. How much are you putting in?
I think we can go for about 8,000 Rand. We don't want to spend all the money on the first day, so we've got a bit of leeway for the rest.
Can we go with 7,000 Rand?
Yeah, 7,000 Rand. Happy with that.
That's it. We're taking a 7,000 Rand position in Foschini.